All right, Richard and Wolfgang. Good evening, guys. How are you doing? All right, I'm ready. I'm ready. I hope that you're well and video and audio are good. Interesting topic today. Video and audio perfect from Austria. Alessandro Pozza. Hi, Pavlin, and greetings from Italy. Hello to Italy as well. How is the video and audio in Italian side? Interesting topic today. I hope that more people will come and we all together will make a nice discussion about the riding gear or everything that we need to travel because it is important. Tenere traveler, all good, many miles on the Himalaya and map planning for Ardennes short trip in June. I'll be good. Okay, thank you very much, Richard. I would like to hear your opinion about the Himalaya when we have chance to talk a little bit longer, to tell me your first impressions, especially how it is to ride with a pillion on it. Because for a single person, I understand that it's fine. But with passenger, it's a different story. Anyway, I hope that the weather is good already in your countries. Here, we're getting better every single day. Today was a bit windy, but tomorrow will be around 23 degrees. So summer is coming. Time to ride, guys. Time to ride. Let me finish this tea. I will wait a few more minutes. Maybe more people will come. And then we'll start. As I said, it will be interesting discussion. Tenere Traveler, 40 horsepower, but with my cruise, it's about 100 to 105 kilometers per hour, smooth, economic, 450 kilometers with one tank. Excellent. If you have this in mind that you have 40 horsepower, the rest is just fine. The problem is that many people expect from this motorcycle to run like a KTM 990 or 890, but it is not. It is just different type of motorcycle and requires a different type of trips. All right, I'm ready. So guys, let me finish first everything that I have planned here on the left side. Bear with me. Please don't ask questions until I finish, because if you ask me questions, I'll try to answer it and it will break my speech. So let me first finish with everything that I plan to say about the riding gear. And after that, we're going to have enough time to discuss what I already said, or to add additional information, or to ask questions, whatever you like. So we have 5 people at the moment. I'll start, and if anyone else comes, will come. That's it. So the stream is going to be about what riding gear do you really need on a long trips. I'll talk about helmet, jacket, pants, boots, gloves, and some other clothes that you need to travel. First things first, you definitely need a riding gear. Forget about some kind of improvisations. It is not impossible to ride with whatever you have. It's absolutely possible. You can ride even without any clothes, absolutely naked. But you're not gonna have the same protection and the same comfort. So if you're serious with motorcycle trips, if you plan to go on a real motorcycle trips, you will definitely need a riding gear. No questions, no doubts about it. Definitely need a riding gear. As I said, forget about improvisations. Buy the best gear that you can afford. If this is 100 euros jacket and 100 euros pants, so be it. But don't improvise, because even a jacket for 100 euros will protect and will be more comfortable than a normal jacket that you go to the supermarkets every single day. It will have at least some kind of level of protection, and it will be designed for motorcycle riding. So Even the most cheap options will be better than just jackets that are designed for something else, if you understand what I mean. So you definitely need a proper riding gear. Spend the best amount that you can afford to buy riding gear. If you have money, of course, buy the best on the market. If you don't have, just whatever you can afford. Motorcycle gear protects not only from accidents, from crash accidents, but it also protects from the weather conditions. And that's why I said that even the most cheap riding gear that you can buy, a proper motorcycle riding gear, will protect more than a normal jacket, because it will has at least some kind of waterproof membrane inside that will protect you, as I said, at least a little bit better than a normal jacket that you have something like this, or even leather jackets. And I will discuss the different materials as well, but this is the first thing that I would like to say. Also, with a proper motorcycle riding gear, you'll be comfortable on trips. You'll feel more comfortable, which is very important if you plan to stay many hours on the saddle. Not only comfort, but also ability to move around, which is again comfort or something like that. And you can definitely ride longer if you have a proper riding gear, because when you have comfort, when you're protected from weather conditions, and when you feel good in your riding gear, you will definitely be able to ride longer. For example, if you have a tight jeans or jacket that is not so comfortable, or maybe shoes that you feel any kind of weather changes and your feet are freezing, you won't be able to ride that long. That's why I said a better proper motorcycle riding gear, it's like a must-have for every person who plan really to travel. That's it. Let's start first with the most important item from the motorcycle riding gear. This is the helmet. And there are different types of helmet: full face, modular, open face, dual sport with in combination with the goggles, or any other, like just a simple like this, just basic helmets. So let's discuss each and every one of these options. Before I start with the different options, I would like to say that I'm not a really believer of expensive helmets. Let me explain to you why. Because I believe that in terms of protection, any motorcycle helmet over 200 euros will provide more or less the same protection as a motorcycle helmet for 1,000 or 1,500 euros. Comfort and different features are a different story, but the protection will be, I'll say, the same, with not even any big differences. So let me start again. So if you buy a motorcycle helmet for 200 euros, it will protect the same way that the motorcycle helmet for 1,500 euros or 1,000 euros. Because with the protection, you can do just so much. That's it. The rest of the money that you're paying for a quality helmet. It will be way more comfortable if you spend more money for it. It will be way more, probably better ventilation. It will be more comfortable. It will be maybe quiet and better design, and it might even last longer. Depends on the materials that are used. But I seriously doubt that you're going to have more protection because of the price, if you understand what I mean. So if you have any helmet over 200 euros with a decent certificates that usually stay on the rear side of the helmet, it will be perfectly fine in terms of protection. The rest of the things, how quiet it will be, or how cold it will be on the cold days, or how hot will be on the hot days, what kind of ventilation is going to have, the visor or pin lock and all of that stuff, they really matters if you pay more money. But in terms of protections, in terms of protection, anything over 200 euros will be about the same. This is the protection that I would like to say first. Let's now start with the different variations that they have for helmets. First will be full face helmet. These are the normal helmets, just a normal with a visor, without any peaks, without any modular elements. Not just the normal helmets that you can see. They're the most popular everywhere. You can see them on sport bikes, on enduro bikes, on travel bikes, or any kind of bike. Just a normal full face helmets. They're a good option, and they're probably the most affordable option. And you can find them everywhere for any kind of price ranges and everything. And they, as I said, they're a good option. I personally don't like them because they don't have peak. I prefer to have a peak on my helmet, and I prefer to have a little bit more air in front of my chin because of the microphone and because of breathability options and stuff like that. But they're a good option and probably the most affordable option that you can find today. Even for less than 200 euros, you can find a good quality helmet. And as I said, they're perfect for any kind of trips. Also, because they don't have peaks, they are more quiet. Usually they are with really nice designs and stuff like that. Full face helmets are clear. Next one that many people love, these are the modular helmets. The one that you can open, modular or flip-flop, whatever you want to name them. They are also very popular, especially around travelers. I personally don't like this type of helmets. I don't like how they look like, and usually they are very expensive and very heavy because of this modular system. And they said that they are very safe if they are locked, if they are closed. But the problem is that most of the people that have this type of helmets, especially around the towns, they open it to have a better breathability or to talk with other people and stuff like that. And this is where these helmets became really dangerous, because once you open it, you completely expose your chin, the front part of your face, and in the case of accident, you won't be protected. I understand that you can close it, but once you open it, they are not that protective as any other helmet. Also, even when they are closed, because of this mechanism that they have and possibility to open it, they might open in the case of accident for some reason. This locking mechanism may break or unlock and open until you have crash accident, and this might cause some serious injuries. It might happen, or it might not. It might happen. It might never happen. But this is the reality. Some certificates cannot be covered because the helmet is modular. For example, I know that Shoei helmets, they don't put sunglasses on their helmets because sunglasses also compromise the safety shell of the helmet. So if the sunglasses are a problem, this opening system, it's even bigger problem. That's why I don't really like these helmets. But first of all, I don't like that they are heavy. I don't like the design. I don't like the possibility to open it and eventually to have accidents. But they could be a really nice option for many people, and everyone is free to use whatever he or she likes. This is my opinion about these helmets. I don't like them. The next option is open face helmets, or just a helmet with visor open here. Again, from safety point of view, this is absolutely not safe helmet, because any accident, in 90% of the accidents, you're gonna hit the ground with your chin. And when you're open face, this is not really a solution. When you travel with open face helmet in the cold days, you'll feel everything. In the rainy days, you'll feel everything. So I don't think that this is a really option for traveling. Maybe to ride around the town for short commuting or stuff like that will be an option, but for traveling, I don't think so. For traveling, you really need something to cover your face, to be possible to close it, maybe with windstopper underneath or big scarf, just to avoid or to be protected from weather changes. So open face is not really an option for traveling, in my opinion. Some people do it. This is just my opinion. The next one are dual sport helmets, or enduro helmets, or whatever you want to name it. The typical helmets that almost every dual sport rider has. The same helmet that I use at the moment, with peak, a little bit more open face here. A little bit more air gap between my chin and the end of the helmet, with a visor, with a normal visor, and not with goggles, just with normal visor. This is my favorite type of helmet. Many reasons. Very first is because of the peak. It's very annoying when you have to travel and the sun is just in front of you. And when you don't have this peak, man, it's a problem. So when you have the peak, you just lower down your head a little bit and you're protected. And it is true that you can improvise if you have a duct tape on the top part of your visor, just like this. You can improvise exactly the same and you'll be protected from the sun. But the second reason I really like the peak is because if you drop your helmet on the ground, the peak actually protects the visor. It's very, very difficult to break your visor. You can do it. I did it now on my trip to South America. I had an accident with around 50, 60 kilometers per hour in the dirt roads. I went over the handlebar and for some reason I broke my visor. The visor was open and because of it, I don't know how, but I broke the visor. But it's in very, very rare situations. I have dropped the motorcycle and I felt so many times during my trips and during the years, never ever even scratched the visor. This was the first time that I actually broke it because it was open and what is happening, I don't know. But it is very, very difficult to break it if you have a visor. If you have a pick. Without a pick, every time you drop your motorcycle on the ground, you'll definitely at least scratch it, and this is very annoying. This is the second reason why I need this or why I like these dual sports helmets. And the third is because of the breathability. Because I wear microphones in my helmet, I prefer to have more space inside. If I use the microphone in the normal, let's say full face helmet, they're very close like this. And usually on the microphones, I have a dead cut on the top, and this dead cut is very annoying when it's touching your face or your lips all the time. That's why I prefer to have a little bit more space. It is true that they are a little bit more windy because the air could go from the bottom. And also, if you ride very fast, the peak might be annoying because the wind grabbing your peak and moving actually your head like that. It is true, but I don't ride that fast, and I prefer to have the peak because of the reasons that I told you. That's why, in my opinion, dual sport helmet is probably one of the best options if you travel. If you're a fast rider, then maybe you can remove the peak, but it will be a good idea to have a spare visor with you because of the reasons that I just told you a few minutes ago. Another one option that I have seen some people do it is to have a dual sport helmet with goggles. This is not an option that I will recommend. Many reasons. First, if you have goggles, you're exposed to wind, to rain. It's very annoying, especially in the cold days, because the wind go around your goggles and you will freeze. In the rain, the same, a lot of water in. And also, you limit your visibility. Your visibility is limited because of the goggles. I have an entire video on this topic made many years ago, but it's a good video. You actually limit around 30% of especially your side visibility. And when you ride in the towns, it's very dangerous because every time when you need to check your mirror or to see what is behind your shoulder, you actually need to turn yourself much more and you're still losing some visibility because of these goggles. And goggles are designed to be ridden in off-road competitions or in the forest or something like that, where you don't have a lot of traffic and it's problems on the side. So it's not really an option for long trips, in my opinion. Let me read something here. Shoots, hi Pauline, I'm going from Hungary to Turkey in June. What do you think about safety? Can I leave my motorcycle outside in the streets overnight? What's your experience? Thanks for the answer. Listen, it's never a good idea to leave your motorcycle on the street, even if you're living in the middle of Germany or middle of Switzerland, because you never know. It might be safe, it might not. In Bulgaria, in common, it's not that bad anymore. I don't think that anyone will touch your motorcycle, but if someone touch it, this will stop your journey. So in my opinion, definitely find a proper place to secure your motorcycle. Don't leave it on the street. Even in Hungary, even in Germany, even in whatever you plan to go, in Turkey as well. So definitely need parking or safe place to put your motorcycle. Let me continue now with the topic. So for the rest of the guys that came a little bit later, please bear with me to finish everything that I plan to say here about the riding gear. And after that, we're going to have enough time for questions on the topic that we have, riding gear, or different topics like Shoot has now the moment about safety and security of the motorcycle. So please bear with me to finish, and then we can discuss the rest. All right. I told you about dual sport helmet with goggles. Not a good idea. And something that you have to have in mind when you're purchasing your next helmet is the existing of pin lock. Pin lock, it's another one membrane that stay in your visor, inside of your visor. It's like a second membrane that actually protects from the fog. And when you have a rainy day or foggy day, your visor is not going to be foggy. It's very, very useful option, and most of the good quality helmets comes with it, so you can mount it immediately after you buy your helmet. If you don't have it on your helmet, don't worry, it's not that bad, because you can purchase a universal pin lock from AliExpress, for example, for just a few dollars, and they works really well. I have it on my on my helmet on all the way to Magadan and back, and I had another one on my way to South America, and actually they worked better than the original pin lock that I had with the helmet. So this is not a big deal if you don't have it, but if your helmet comes with it, much better. On the Rebel 11, hello, and everyone, sorry about being no worries, just stay with me until I finish my thoughts here. All right, that's everything that I wanted to say on the topic helmet. Many more things could be said, but the stream will be just too long. Later, when I finish, if you have a specific questions about the helmet, you can ask me. Let's now go to number 2, jackets and pants. Again, variations are so many, and as I said in the beginning, buy the best that you can afford. If this is a riding gear for 200 euros, go for riding gear for 200 euros. If you can afford a riding gear for 2,000 euros, go for it. The more you spend, probably going to have the better quality and more comfortable and long-lasting gear. But one very important thing that you have to know right now, if you are a serious traveler, if you really travel on long trips, if you spend many hours on the saddle, you should know that riding gear wear very fast when you make long trips. So I know that some people really would like to protect their gear and clean it every time and wash it very often and keep it always like brand new. But this is not really possible on long trips, especially when you have different riding conditions and weather changes. It is almost impossible. Let's imagine that today you have to ride 5 or 6 hours in the rain. You'll be completely covered with muddy water all the time. So you cannot really clean your riding gear. On the next day, if you spend 5 or 6 hours on the dusty conditions, let's say off-road, all of this dust will go on your already wet gear, and it will become a real mess. After that, you ride on a very hot day, 5 or 6 hours on 30 plus degrees. All of this mud and water and all of that stuff became like a concrete on your riding gear. And when this is repeating day after day, week after week, month after month, after 3 months, your motorcycle riding gear will be worn out like a other gear for people who travel just on the Sundays. How I have to say, no, for example, on my trip to South America now, after 3 months, the wearing and tearing process that my gear survived, it's similar like a gear that you use for 5 or 6 years and riding only on the Sundays. That difference is everything. So when you're investing money in your gear, even that you might have a lot of money, you still need to keep in mind that just because you paid 2,000 euros for gear, it doesn't mean that this gear will last 10 or 20 years or whatever years you believe it will last. If you're a serious traveler, if you travel a lot, if you plan to make many kilometers in different riding conditions, you should know that probably in 2-3 trips this gear will be completely fall apart, even if you spend 2,000 euros. If you know this in advance, it's a different story. And that's why I said buy the gear that you can afford, and buy it usually for 2-3 trips. I'm talking about trips without any problems. If you fell down, if you have accident, you'll probably cut it and damage it on the first trip or on the first fall. But if you don't have any problems, if you never go down, if you never touch the ground with your gear, if you're a serious traveler, I don't think that it will last more than 2-3 years, even the most expensive gear that you can afford at the moment. So with this note, let's continue now. There are different materials of riding gear that you can choose from. The most popular now at the moment are leather and textile. Leather, it's a good option, and many will swear that this is the best option. I don't think so. Leather is better in terms of maybe longevity. If you have a leather gear, it will definitely last longer. And also, if you go down and you need to slide on the road for, let's say, with 100 kilometers per hour, probably with leather gear will be much better protected, even though it's questionable, because the new materials that are used now, this cordura textile, or all of the protections that they put on the shoulders, on the elbows, and different types of materials, will protect you about the same as leather in terms of sliding on the asphalt with high speed. In terms of the direct impact, it all depends on the protection that you have, your shoulders, knee protector, back protectors. It's not really about the material that you have. But in terms of weather conditions, this is the place where the textile will be much better, especially if you have some new materials like Gore-Tex or Sympatex or Shelltex, whatever they have, these breathable materials. And adventure, leatherworking, and motorcycles. Hello to you, my friend. Bear with me to finish what I am about to say. So different materials, leather and textile. In my opinion, textile is the winner. Some people still prefer to have leather, but leather has one big minus. So when it starts raining, it's different story. Not all the leather is waterproof. It could be waterproof if it has some specific materials inside, but usually the leather is not waterproof. It could survive a light rain, but in a serious rain, it will soak very fast and it will become very heavy and very cold. And you cannot really dry it fast. Once you soak it with water, it will need hours and maybe days riding just to dry it. With the textile materials, it's not like that. They dry very fast because they are synthetic materials and they dry very fast. Ghost Rider. I also have an Echelon GTX. I love it, but the zippers diagonally on the pocket jacket difficult to open quickly. As for the boots, I also have the same boots like you. Expedition GTX. I love it. I really love this Echelon jacket GTX. Yes, sometimes it's difficult to open it when you ride. Here, these zips lines here on the pants. And I will not recommend to do it while you ride. And few reasons. First, because you can lose control on your motorcycle. And also, when you ride, you might damage the zips. Better is to stop and slowly open it while you ride. So this is my advice for Echelon jacket and the zippers. But I love it. I'm going to say a few words about it when we finish the stream. So leather, textile, my opinion is that the textile is much better, especially if you have the chance to buy a Gore-Tex suit, jacket and pants. This will give you the chance to have a breathable material that is also waterproof, and it will save you a lot of time while you ride. And for example, when it starts raining, you can just zip your jacket and you're good to go. And if you don't have a Gore-Tex, if you rely on layers, then you have to stop, put your rain gear and rain layer or rain cover on the top, or rain jacket, whatever you have. And it is even more difficult with the pants. With the Gore-Tex, all of this is easy. You just continue riding without any problems. But of course, Gore-Tex is a little bit more expensive and will keep you a little bit more warm in the summer. Of course, depends on the models. I'll come to this in the second. So let's go to the next point, which is variations. We discussed already materials, leather and textile. Let's now go to variations. The variations are two I already mentioned. One, this is Gore-Tex, breathable material. And the second is just to have a riding gear with different layers. So you have the riding jacket and pants, and then you have warm layer, and then you have a rain layer. So you have actually three different layers. One is to protect you from the cold days. This is a warm layer, or warm layers. And the second is a rain layer. Okay, so three different layers. And you can adjust, or you can wear exactly what you need at the moment. Some people love this to prepare for any weather. So, for example, when it's nice hot day, you don't need the warm layer, you don't need the rain layer, so you can have only your jacket and pants and have a good ventilation and good breathability. When it starts rain, then you have to stop and put your rain gear, maybe, for example, rain layer, and on the trousers as well. And when it's so cold, you can have all together. But this is a little bit more complicated, especially when the weather change every 10 or 15 minutes, and it's annoying. Now, for example, in South America, we had so many different rain conditions, and in some of the days, it was basically like 10 times per day, raining, stopping, raining, and stopping, raining, and stopping. Because I have a Gore-Tex suit, this echelon that Ghost Rider mentioned, what I need to do is just to close my zippers, and I'm ready to continue traveling. My friend Plumman was also with a Revit jacket, but what was the model? Revit Outback. So every time when the rain starts, he needs to stop, put a rain gear underneath, rain layer, and the same with the trousers. So he finished riding with everything on him, because he does not want to stop every 10 or 15 minutes to remove one and put another. But when you're riding with the warm layer and a rain layer on you, and the temperature is 30 degrees, man, you're sweating like a crazy. It's not comfortable at all. And all of this is very annoying when you have to ride many hours in different riding conditions. That's why in these conditions, Gore-Tex is just brilliant. You cannot replace it with anything else. But it has some downsides. As I said, in the really hot days, Gore-Tex will keep you a little bit warmer, unless you have a very good ventilation. And that's why I said I love this echelon model, because it comes with a really good ventilation. Here on the arms, two big zips that actually the air blow them like a sails, and the ventilation is very good. Two zips on the back that like exhaust the air to go out, and also the zip line is on two levels. One is to close it completely, and the second it's leaving like 2-3 centimeters gap and only mesh underneath, and the ventilation is very good. Also, it has very good ventilation on the trousers, on the pants, front and rear for exhaust ventilation. And I am good to travel with this Gore-Tex suit up to 35 degrees without any problems. I will have the same comfort that Plumman will have with just a normal Outback suit. So this is something that is good to know in advance. Ghost Rider, yeah, man, if people can afford to go for echelon for any other brand in the same price range, it's the best. I like it very much, because echelon is Gore-Tex. It's actually made from two different layers of Gore-Tex. For example, another one Gore-Tex suite that I've got, it's a Dominator GTX. It's made from 3 layers, and it's too heavy and it's not so comfortable. But echelon is with only 2, and it's very light. I don't really feel it, but it protects well. Anyway, let's me continue. So variations, layers or Gore-Tex. In my opinion, Gore-Tex is better. Some people prefer layers. I prefer Gore-Tex because of the reasons that I told you. So if you can afford Gore-Tex, go ahead and buy it. You won't regret. Important moment that I would like to mention now when we're on the topic gear. It is very important to zip your jacket and pants. As you know, on the rear side of your jacket, you have a big zip line. This big, on some jackets, is very long, like this. And you also have a zip line on your pants. Always zip them together. Many reasons. First is that it will protect you in weather conditions. You're not going to have wind on your waist here, which is very dangerous. You might get cold from it. But the most important reason is because if you go down, if you have an accident and for some reason you need to slide on the asphalt, when they are not zipped together, your jacket will go up like this, and your kidneys and the rear side of your back will be exposed to the asphalt. Always zip them together. This may save you a lot of problems, always. And if you have some suspenders, especially universal suspenders, they are designed to be attached to the zip line, not to the pants separately. So if you have your suspenders to the zip line, you won't be able to zip your jacket and pants. But always zip it. This is very important. If you need protection, this is one of the first thing that you have to do. Every time when I put my jacket on, this is the first thing that I do. I zip it with my pants. Every time. Okay, so let's now say a few words about protection in your riding gear. And of course, the riding gear that you will buy, a proper riding gear, will come with this integrated protection on elbows, shoulders, on the back. You might have here on the chest. You're gonna have on the knees and maybe on on the hips, a small protection on the hips. So this is the minimum protection that you will need while you travel. You can always have more. You can have like a different like off-road protection. What was the name of this? Whatever, you know, this off-road protection that you can zip it underneath of your jacket. But when you travel, it's gonna be just too much. Body armor. But it will be too much while you travel. I personally rely only on the protection, on the integrated protection. And believe it or not, I already have my experience during all of these years that I'm riding. I have really one serious accident in Turkey 4 years ago. And thanks to the integrated protection, I was absolutely without any injuries because of the integrated protection. Elbows, shoulders, knees, it really protects, even though it might look like not so serious, but it really protects. So in my opinion, integrated protection is like a base layer that will protect you enough. Of course, if you have a serious, very serious accident on very high speed, nothing can protect you in 100%. Nothing, even airbag cannot protect you that well. But use whatever you feel that you want to use. Some people wear neck braces. Neck braces is a very good option. It will definitely protect you in the case of accident, because it will protect you. What it does, it's hold your head like that, so you won't have movement this way or that way, and it will protect to break your neck. Definitely a good option. The problem that I have is that with all of that gear, I'm not gonna feel so comfortable to ride many hours per day. That's why I rely only on the integrated protection in my riding gear. For me, that's enough. I understand that I'm having some kind of risk, but the risk is the salt of life, and I'm ready to handle it. A few words about airbags. Airbags are a really good option, and they're proven that they can protect you very well. I don't have it at the moment. I don't think that I'm going to have it, because this is another one burden, another one layer to have on me, and I just don't want to have it. As I said, I understand that I'm compromising my safety a little bit without wearing airbag, but it is what it is. I never said that I'm perfect, and this is the level of the risk that I can handle, or at least this is what I think right now. I might change in the future, but this is my opinion at the moment. And the last point that I would like to mention on the topic riding gear, which by the way is very important, and I should have started with this, is that the riding gear should be very well ventilated. It doesn't matter what kind of gear you're gonna choose, textile, leather, Gore-Tex, or layers. Make sure that it has a very good ventilation. I partly already mentioned the ventilation on my Echelon jacket, but I also had the same ventilation on my Outrack, on my Sun 4 jacket, on my Dominator GTX. They are all made with very good ventilation pockets on the chest, here on front, on the shoulders, on the pants. And I really like this, because there is nothing worse than that, to ride in the hot days with the riding gear that you cannot open. Then it's really terrible to have it, and you will probably finish riding without it, and then it's a problem. When you have a good riding gear with a good ventilation, you just don't feel it. It's there to help you, but you don't feel it, and this is the point of everything. So make sure that it has a good ventilation, not only one zip here and one there. What I noticed with, let's say, with a Klim gear, they have a fantastic and quality gear, but they don't really have a good ventilation. I have seen, I don't know, 5-6 different models, and the ventilation is not really good. Another example is Ruka gear is also very good quality, but they are not very well ventilated. Maybe because they are made for, I don't know, Scandinavian countries, a little bit different. They are not very well ventilated, and the gear that I use, Revit, it's not because they are my sponsors for many years, but I really like this gear. And actually, Revit became my sponsor because I was using their gear, not the other way around. So good ventilation, it's a good deal. It's a great deal. You have to have a good ventilation if you want to feel comfortable on trips. With this, I'm going to finish with the riding gear. Let's now to a few more additions on this topic. This is about the rain gear. So it doesn't matter what kind of gear you have, Gore-Tex or layers, I will still recommend to have your rain gear because nothing lasts forever. Even the best Gore-Tex suits will last 4, 5, maybe 6 hours in heavy rain, and then they will start leaks. They're not gonna leak from here or from your pants, but they're gonna start leak from here on your neck. Around your neck, the water will go in. Between the jacket and the pants, the water will go in. Here, because of the gloves, and here around the your wrist, the water will go in. The water will find its way. And if you know from the beginning that you'll expect a whole day of rain, serious heavy rain, my advice is to put your rain gear on the top. What I do, I usually have with me at least the jacket, a rain jacket, to have it on me. Pants usually last longer. I don't know why, but they last longer. But even though if they get a little bit wet, I can hold it. I can survive on it. But when you get wet here, it became really cold and you really need to stop. So make sure that you have a rain gear in your luggage. Maybe you will never need it, but in a serious rain, you can have it. Also, uh, always buy a rain gear with two different parts, jacket and pants, not a rain suit. A rain suit will protect better, but it is difficult to wear it, difficult to remove it, and also in the case, let's say it's a cold in the mornings, you can have, if you have if you have a jacket and pants, if in the cold mornings you can have only the jacket, not the pants, and or if it's a really muddy conditions, you can have only the pants to protect your gear, not the jacket or stuff like that. You can have a different combinations. As I said, I use only the jacket. I never even have the pants with me because I wear Gore-Tex suit. So that's everything about the riding gear and everything that I wanted to say on this, jacket and pants. Let's move now to the next point, which is gloves. Gloves, the same story. Different types, leather and textile. Again, my opinion is that textile is better. You can have a combination, half textile for a good ventilation, half leather for better protection. Whatever gloves you decided to have, make sure that they have a good protection here on the buckles, because in the case of accident, this part of your hands needs to be protected here and here, because you might break, and these are small bones, and if you break it, this might be a problem in the whole of your life. So make sure that you have a good protection. There are also Gore-Tex gloves. I also have Gore-Tex gloves from Revit. But even the Gore-Tex start leaks after 4 or 5 hours. And not only that, they start leaks, and every time when you stop and remove your gloves and you're on the rain, when your hands became wet and you put it again in your gloves, everything became wet, and after a few hours, you cannot really feel the difference. Are they wet or not? So in my opinion, you don't need to spend money for Gore-Tex gloves. Any gloves, even if they are not waterproof, will be wet after 4 or 5 hours. When they are not waterproof, yes, they will be wet very quickly, but they will also get dry very quickly after a few hours when the rain stops. With the Gore-Tex, it's a different story. They will get wet after 4 or 5 hours, but also they will need 4 or 5 hours to get dry after that. So I personally prefer to ride with the normal gloves, not Gore-Tex, and they are easy to put in and easy to get out when they are wet. Make sure that they have protection. This I already said. And few words about boots. I hope that you still don't have this question, do I need boots? You definitely need boots. If you break your leg and spend 6 months in the hospital with a broken leg, then you will understand how important the boots are. And it is more or less the same story. Buy the best boots that you can afford, because nothing worth more than your health, and especially about your legs, especially about your ankles. They are so fragile, and they have so many small bones and pieces that if you break it, man, it will bug you the whole of your life. So make sure that you protect your legs very well. Buy the best that you can afford, and don't make compromises with it, because it could be very dangerous and very, very painful. And also, don't buy boots that are short up to here. Buy a normal high boots like this, a proper motorcycle riding boots up to here. Because, for example, when you have your knee protection on your pants, your knee protection go like that, and the boot's supposed to stay on the top of your knee protector. If you have a short boots up to here, you leave one gap, let's say 10 centimeters between your boots and your knee protector open. And in the case of accident, you will break this bone here, and it will be very painful and very difficult to recover it after that. So make sure that you have a long boots with a good chin protection, not chin. What was the name of this part here? I forgot the name of this part here, but it should be really well protected. And also, when you're choosing your boots, make sure that they are not very soft. If they are very comfortable to walk with, you have to have in mind that comfort and safety never work together. If they are very comfortable to walk, very soft and very sweet, that means probably the safety is already compromised. The boots that I've got from Revit, fantastic boots, very expensive. True, 700 euros for boots, not everyone can afford it. But man, they have the best protection that I ever seen, and these are probably the only boots that I ever had that are comfortable and protect at the same time. Yes, they have some minuses, but the best that I ever had. So if you can afford a good boots, go for it, but never make compromises with it. To ride with some army boots or stuff like that, it's absolutely not an option to me. Boots, they've got the same the situations with the boot is the same like a riding gear or jacket and pants. They protect not only from accidents, but they will also protect you in the riding conditions. If you can afford boots that are made from Gore-Tex, the best option. They will not gonna protect you forever, unlimited time of rain, but they will definitely protect you at least 4 or 5 hours in very heavy rain. And also from the weather conditions. When it's very cold or very hot, boots protects in every situation. So boots are very important part of your riding gear. Don't make compromises and spend the best amount that you can afford on it. Again, different options: leather, synthetic materials. CD Adventure, for example, now they're not even from leather; they're from some kind of microfiber. The boots that I've got from Revit are from synthetic, they are from Gore-Tex. So make sure that it has good protection. This is crucial, and everyone who ever broke a leg will tell you how important they are. Let's now say a few words about, by the way, if you don't have a waterproof boots, it's a similar story as to having different layers on your jacket and pants. Every time when the rain starts, you have to put something on the top of your boots. Usually these are special covers for the boots. They protect really well and not gonna have wet feet, but they also are not so comfortable when you need to walk with this gutters is the name of these things. And also sometimes they stick to the foot pegs and you might drop the motorcycle because of it. And also they have some kind of life. After a few trips they fall apart, and it's not so comfortable to put them every time when it rains and remove them when it stops, but it's an option. So if you have the chance to buy waterproof boots, make sure that they are waterproof but also breathable, because if you have a boots that are waterproof but not breathable, man, it's a disaster. I had an accident, or not accident, I had a situation like that in Central Asia. The boots that I bought were labeled like waterproof, but waterproof and breathable. But what I learned the hard way, or what I realized in Azerbaijan, actually it was very hot day, like 45, 46 degrees. And because of the ferries and different circumstances, I haven't got the chance to remove my boots for about 30, 36 hours. And finally, when I removed it, man, oof, it was disaster. They were smelling so badly. And my feet were soaked with water, like standing in the shower or in the pool for 10 hours. This is how my feet will look like, and I had a real pain on it. So when I removed the shoes and when this smell went everywhere around, I said, what the fuck is this? So I actually cut the inside of the boot and open it, and I saw that inside it was a simple nylon plastic. It was not a waterproof membrane. It was a nylon plastic. So it was waterproof but not breathable. So this is not an option. And finally, I finished the whole trip without the anything inside of my boots. So that's why it's very important to buy proper boots, breathable and waterproof, if you can afford it, of course. If you cannot, you will find another solutions. And now a few words about other clothes that you will need while you travel. One of them is thermal underwear. You will definitely need this gear when you travel. And one of the things that it's important is that with the riding gear, motorcycle riding gear, you cannot make any compromises. You definitely need a gear that is designed for motorcycle riding. But with the rest of the clothes, thermal underwear or t-shirts or anything else, socks or anything else, you can find very good solutions in any shop that sells this outdoor gear, Decathlon or whatever brand or whatever you have in your country. Over there, you can make compromises and buy stuff that is not exactly for motorcycle traveling. Even though when you buy a t-shirt, for example, for motorcycle riding, they are usually a little bit longer. If you buy a t-shirt from Decathlon for hiking, they are a little bit short, and most of the time there are some differences, but you can save a lot of money by going and buying thermal underwear or t-shirts or socks or pants, whatever you need from this type of shops, because usually this type of gear, when they're specific brands specifically made for motorcycle trips, are usually very expensive. So you don't need to spend $100 for thermal underwear if you can buy it for 20 from Decathlon. This is what I mean. And another one, the last point that I would like to mention in terms of riding gear, it's not really a riding gear, but I never go without it. This is a hydration pack with water, something that you definitely need while you travel. I have seen so many people still don't have it. Yeah, someone said here, this part of the one is Shin. Thank you very much for Marv 968. So hydration pack is a very important part of your riding gear, and I never go without it because when you travel, you need water. If you don't have your hydration pack, you need a bottle of water, and you still need to store this bottle of water somewhere. But where? In your saddlebag, in your panniers, or whatever. It takes a lot of place. For me, the best place is hydration pack on my back. 2 liters, no more. If you have 3 liters, it became too heavy. If it's too hot, 3 liters became really hot after 1 hour, and you will drink almost like a tea. 2 liters are more than enough to hydrate yourself for all day. If it's very hot, you're gonna change it often anyway, so 2 liters are not gonna be enough, but you're gonna change it very often, and you will have always cold water in your hydration pack. Also, hydration pack will give you the chance to drink water while you ride. While you ride, you just drink and continue riding. Drink and continue riding. If you have your bottle in your saddlebag, you will drink only when you stop. But in the hot days, to drink once per 1 hour or even 30 minutes might not be enough. So hydration pack is a crucial and it's a very important part of your riding gear. I use a brand named Source. It's an Israeli brand. Fantastic hydration pack. Never smell. I have it from, I don't know, 6-7 years already. Always in good condition. Always work fantastic. The price is something like 30-40 euros for the hydration pack only. And then you need some kind of backpack. But this is probably one of the best spent money for my riding gear. Yes, it's a must, exactly. Okay, guys, that was everything that I was planned to say in terms of riding gear, what riding gear you need to travel. This is the riding gear that I use all the time in all of my trips, and this is the riding gear that helped me to complete all of my trips. Now, if you want to add something, additional information, or if you have any questions on this topic, please go ahead. I will be glad to read it here and eventually help you if I can. Or if not, we can provide information for any other people. Tenere Traveler, your textile jacket first job is protection and pockets are carry personal items close to you. Waterproof is secondary and waterproof rainwear is for this. Your rain jacket can be worn off the bike. Yes, I will agree with this. It's not only to protect you, also to have all of your items that you need during your trips. So I forgot to say the pockets. Pockets are, thank you very much for adding this point, Richard. Pockets are something very important. In on 2 of my jackets that I got made from Revit, they were made with a terrible designs on their pockets, very small pockets for travel jackets. So actually, I went to the local guy to redesign the pockets and to make it more accessible, with zipped on the top and with just better size, because the pockets that they got were very small. I cannot put even my telephone on it. So pockets are another one very important moment when you're buying your jacket. Make sure that you have enough to have all of your stuff inside. Oh, Ronald. Hello, Pavlin from Anaco, Venezuela. Hello, Ron. Nice to see you here, man. I hope it's the same Ron, but it's Ronald. It should be the same from Anaco, Venezuela. Man, yesterday, a few days ago, I was editing the video about Venezuela, and after 2 days, I'm gonna edit the part from Anaco. Thank you very much for your help over there. It was priceless. The same one. Thank you very much, Ron. Nice to see you here. Nice to see you. Tenere Traveler, your mid layer is a very important item. I use a non-motorcycle lightweight padded jacket with folds into the own pockets. Very warm, can be worn on. The base is those for your job. Yes. Thank you very much for adding this, Richard. About the mid layers, something I forgot to say, or at least my opinion. When I got my first Dominator GTX jacket, which was Gore-Tex, it came without any membranes inside. So I don't have mid layers, I don't have warm linings, nothing inside. At the beginning, I thought that it's terrible for so much money without even these things. But then I realized that it's better for me, because while I ride, I always have something underneath in the cold days. It could be a sweatshirt like this or some other layers, but I always have something. So I don't need another one specifically for the jacket while I ride. So you can have your mid layers. You can buy it from, as Richard said, you can buy it from different shops and use it. Definitely something, and something to have in mind. Jorge Salsa, about thermal underwear, go with wool and it's antiseptic and does not get smelly. Also, hydration pack, it's also a good idea to insulate the tubes so the weather does not get hot in the tubes. Yes, good points. Thank you very much for adding. Marine wool or synthetic materials, whatever is best for you, whatever you can afford, go for it. Tenere Travel, if you get wet, feet plastic shopping bags are good emergency measure to keep your feet dry. They are cheap too. Yeah, it's a good option. I used it a number of times. They help a lot. They also not only protect you from the wet feet, but they can make your feet warm. So plastic bags are a perfect option, cost nothing, weight nothing. You can put it in your pockets, and in the case of emergency, you can just put it and go with it in your boots. On the Rebel 11, after switching from a black jacket and a black helmet to a white and white, I found the car see me better now. Maybe it's psychological, but I notice a difference. It's not psychological. It's definitely better. I always try to have a white helmet at least. White jackets are good. They are visible, but very, very difficult to protect them, especially in the muddy conditions. I have one white jacket, and man, it looks terrible. So for the jacket, I prefer to have a dark color or at least gray color. But for helmet, definitely white. I never worry about the warm temperatures, because some people say that with the white gear and white helmet, it's better in the hot days. It could be, but this is not the main reason why I have white helmet. It's because of visibility. Thanks for adding this. S-Pin, any experience with the new 7VDC heated clothing? No, I haven't got any experience with it. I prefer to have my independence. I don't want to rely on some kind of heated different sources, except my heated grips, because they are connected to the motorcycle battery. The rest, I don't have any experience. It is probably a good option. I just cannot say anything about it. Sorry. General Traveler, neck buffs keeps you from sunburn when it's hot and warm when it's cold. Also make good blindfold when it's sleeping in very light and hot or in the tent. I agree with this. Good options. Thanks for adding. I forgot to add a few words about riding gear when I was discussing the riding gear. Another one thing that I forgot to talk with, it's you definitely need a scarf and probably a wind stopper. I have a scarf that I use in the hot days just here on my neck, because it protects from the even when it's hot, I prefer to have it because sometimes you can have a bee or some other animal to go into your neck. If you have this scarf, it protects you. Also, when it's very hot, I soak it with water and keep it on my neck to just to cool me down. But I also have a serious wind stopper that I wear on my head and to protect me from the cold days that go in my jacket like this, with a little bit more thick material. This is something that you definitely need while you travel. You cannot just go like that in the cold days. Okay, Marv 968. White helmet seems cooler as well in hot weather. It's theoretically, yes, but the helmet has inside like 2-3 centimeters foam insulated from the hot days. I don't think that you'll see any difference in black and white helmet in the hot days, especially inside. With the gear, probably you will feel it, but with the helmet, I don't think so. Ronald, made black is worse in the hot weather, and tell you from experience. I agree. The jacket, it's definitely noticeable. About the helmet, I don't think so. But with the jacket, it's yes, you definitely feel it in the hot days, especially in your area, Ron. Especially in your area. All right, guys. Any more questions? Go ahead. Tenere traveler, if everything you wear under your motorcycle protection layer can also be worn off the bike, you're saving on packing size and weight. Right, always weight always matters. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I try to always to be minimalistic, and everything that I wear while I ride is the same that I wear when I walk, especially the t-shirts and the underwear, socks and stuff like that, just to save weight and to have as less as possible luggage. It's very important, and this is a classic mistake for everyone. Everyone who go on the trip at least once realize that he just took too much, and next time he'll take less and less and less, and every time when you travel you will minimize your luggage less and less and less until you finish with a very simple basic clothing. Thank you very much for coming, Richard. As usual, one of the best followers with a lot of good advice. Thank you very much. Send my regards to Lina, and see you next week. I will, Ronald, say hello to Plumman, the #1 traveler mechanic. Yeah, I will definitely say to him, Ronald. I look forward to edit the video episodes with you and your friends and the good meat that we ate over there. Man, it was fantastic. Really nice to see you. I really hope that one day you will be able to come here in Bulgaria to return the favor and to have a wonderful time. Thank you very much, Ron. So, guys, if you don't have any questions, I plan to finish the stream. I will give you 10 more minutes, and as I said, if you don't have any more questions, I'm gonna end the stream and continue next week with a different topic. I still don't know what, but we'll find out something. Once again, thank you very much to each and every one of you to participate in this stream. You provide a lot of good information here and good questions, so I hope that this will be useful for many people that will watch the stream after that. Спокойная ночь. This is Russian language. Спокойная ночь, it's actually. Thank you very much. It means good night. Espin, I don't know where you're from, but thank you very much. So, guys, once again, thank you very much for being here, being part of the stream, and see you next week. Liking South American videos? Good. A lot more to come. We're just starting with the South American videos. The first episodes are not so interesting, but it's became really a serious trip after a few more episodes. So if you have time, just watch it. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. See you in the next video. Ciao.